All right, Coach. Obviously, really heartbreaking way to end the season. I guess we'll just get your thoughts on today's game and this year.
Unfortunately, the game kind of reflect the inconsistency we've had for the year. In spurts, we were played some good football. My defense held the fort, but they had trouble getting them off the field. There were some, that scrambling quarterback was pretty special athletically and kept things alive and made a ton of plays and tip our hats to them. They stayed on the field. Offensively, our opening drive to start was 7 and end up with 10 after that is kind of the disjointed offense we've had all year, and so that special teams can make plays, but they take too many penalties. These are reoccurring themes now for 9 weeks, and so here we sit. We're not in the playoffs for back-to-back years. The hard part for me is I have a great core of seniors that really had to deal with a bunch of stuff that most shouldn't with the COVID stuff, and then this year, and so in spite of their hard work and their great example and them being a group of seniors, they get a pretty bad hand dealt, and for that, I'm not sure sorry accounts, but I have tremendous respect for them, and I hope they call this place home for many years to come.
Open floor.
Sure.
Steph, you've had some very high highs here at Mac over the years. This, I would think, has got to be about the lowest of the lows. Where does this one slot for you?
Yeah, again, because I have such strong positive feelings for the senior group, for them to miss the playoffs in COVID and miss this one. This is as bad as it gets. There was never a game that I wanted to win more than this one. For their sake, I didn't want to live in this world. Saw it coming, and we worked as hard as we could to not be in this situation, but it didn't play out that way, and so we'll do what we always do, is look them in the eye and thank them for leaving it better than they found it, and they did. The human beings that they are, it's not trophies and stuff in their legacy. They were a positive force through some challenging times with the years that they had as they're getting through this place. And so I hold them in as high esteem as anybody I've ever worked with.
In retrospect now, looking back, how much of a, I don't know what the word is, did that York disqualification end up being over the course of the year? Did it throw a wrench into a lot of stuff, or was it something that was easy to just throw off your back?
Because of that leadership, it was, it's nothing I would make an excuse for. We didn't play well enough to make the playoffs, that's the bottom line. My seniors, and they were a big part of not letting it distract us. And so it's hard for a 52-year-old to reconcile working your butt off for the entire month of August, building up to your first couple weeks, and you find yourself defaulted and 0-2 out the gate. They weathered it as good as anybody, and so no, we had to win this one, and if we did, we're in the playoffs. We didn't, we're not a playoff team. That York piece was part of the rocky journey, but I don't think it's a crutch or an excuse for not getting to where we needed to get to.
One more from me. You touched on the offense. The first possession, unbelievable pass, great touchdown pass. Looks like you guys have figured something out, and then nothing. Why this year was it so difficult to get the ball into the end zones? It seemed to be such a recurring problem.
Yeah, each week it's a little something different. We take turns. We do. So offensive line protects and we're rolling. We drop a ball here or there, we take a penalty here or there, or it's there when everybody was. That offensive line is capable of great things. That receiving core is capable of great things. My quarterback, I think, is one of the best players in the country. It was just very rare that all of them were working at the same time. And so, as their coach and someone very involved in the offense, we'll look in the mirror. That's on us, and we'll shoulder that one. That's.
Coach, I know Percent was shaken up going into the game. He was kind of, play, how much you play, goes out early, comes back. Talk about his toughness, because we were raving all year about this kid.
The Danny Bossett will play through anything for his teammates. I suspect he's going to need his knee scoped. I suspect his ankle's like a 3rd-degree sprain, I suspect. He's got shoulder, like he is pound for pound the toughest kid you'll ever meet, and he's all heart, and so he'll duct tape or whatever he needs to do to play for his teammates. He was told not to go back today under any circumstances, and he not refused, but worked with our sport medicine people to retape and re-go and play through what he was going to play through, and so he was responsibly back in the game, but 99% of the athletes that you meet would not have even dressed today with all the things that he has to go through.
So shoulder, knee, ankle.
He's never complained about any of it. So I'm guessing on all of the above. He's good to go. Yes, coach. No, coach. What can I do to help us win, coach?
We have time for one more question.
Yeah, and I guess just to follow up on Scott's last question there about the offense. Basically with that first drive there with the touchdown, like looking back at it, kind of what really worked during that drive that maybe just didn't work as well for the rest of the game, I guess, when you look at back at it?
Every time they were in a 40 front with one less linebacker in the game, we moved the ball very, very consistently. They've played the entire second half in a 30, the extra backer in zone coverage, and our inability to establish run kind of bogged us down a little bit into the wind in the 3rd quarter with the penalties and the field position and some of the goofiness. We weathered it. We're into the 4th and we're only down 3. Okay, great. And then we just never got anything going. So kudos to their staff. It was a good playing with the 30 and us not being able to run at it was a good recipe. It has bit us in the butt a couple times. So we gotta kind of sort through some of our offensive system stuff and put our student athletes in better situations. But that second half was entirely that, and that don't blame them. We weren't accomplishing what we were in that. Every time they were in the 40, we were moving them pretty good.
Thanks, sir.
Yep.
All right, we're here with wide receiver Nick Adair. Nick, obviously not the way you and your brothers wanted to end this season. Scored the large touchdown today. Can you break down today's game for us?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought we fought hard from start to finish, but like Coach B was saying, like, I don't know, it just seemed like a recurring theme that other teams made plays when they need to make plays, and we just didn't. I mean, yeah, our offense struggled at times, but I mean, our defense also struggled at times today and couldn't get them off the field. But I mean, recurring theme all season was that our offense just couldn't put points on the board, and I mean, we're going to look into that and obviously work really hard in the off season. And I mean, I know that we're going to come back better, and I know we have the talent next year to do something special. So, I mean, just got to get to work now. Can't go back, right?
Okay.
On that note, I'm curious, once you let this settle and the sting go away, you're still going to school and classes. When do you start getting back at it physically, training?
I mean, I don't really know the plan, but my guess is the plan is soak this tomorrow, watch the film, and then, I mean, we lift Monday, Wednesday, Friday every week, so my guess is Monday we'll be back in the gym getting ready for next season. Like, I know the character of all the guys around here, and I know we have a lot of crazy hard-working guys that are, I mean, destined for greatness. It's just a matter of time. So, I mean, we'll be back in lab Monday, and I mean, it's definitely going to sting, but I think it's just going to make us work harder, and we'll come out even better next season.
Yeah, and I guess in terms of, you mentioned in terms of just not being able to make those plays, I guess when you look at it, what's kind of maybe the reason or difference like why the team doesn't do this?
I mean, it's little things here or there, like everybody, from myself to Dre, to everybody makes mistakes, right? Like, and I think we just were unfortunate with the fact that we made mistakes the times we just couldn't make mistakes, and some of the teams we were playing against just made the big play and stepped up when they needed to step up, and unfortunately one or all of us didn't step up when we needed to step up. And I mean, it's no one person's fault, and once again I have the utmost confidence in all these guys, so there's no one person to blame. I think we all just collectively took our turns, and yeah, we just got to come out and be better next year.
Every week when you sit here with someone, they say, well, I gotta watch the tape afterwards. So each time when you watch the tape the next day, do you see something on there that you go, oh, that was the moment when we could have done something? Was it a case where each week you saw the moment or moments that something could have been different?
Yeah, it definitely stings watching the tape. I mean, we see the tape on the sideline, but once you come back to level head and watch the tape the next day, like, you just see stuff here or there that's just like shoulda, coulda, woulda. But I mean, that was our theme all year: is good football teams don't live in that shoulda, coulda, woulda. They just make those plays when they have to make those plays, and we just recurring themes that we just didn't. So when we look at the tape the next day, it's a lot of things that we could have done or should have done, and it just stings a bit more. But I don't know, we just didn't make the adjustments, in my opinion, that we should have made, and for whatever reason, we just seem to be the same thing every week. But again, I think next year and beyond, like, have tremendous confidence, obviously, in all my brothers, and I know how hard we're going to work to make sure that we're not like that next year. We're not shoulda, coulda, woulda. I think we're gonna come out flying. I don't see our offense struggling next year. Out of confidence in myself and all the guys, like, I know how hard all of us will work and have worked in the past, and how much talent we have in that locker room. And I know on both sides of the ball that we can compete at the highest level. So.
All right, we're here with quarterback number 11, Andre Stewick. Andre, obviously not the end of the way to end the season that you guys have planned. Let's see your thoughts on today's game and overall.
Well, I mean, we played our heart out. It's tough. I mean, you obviously don't get the result you want, but I think we still we played hard. Obviously, we got an off season to evaluate what went wrong and what to do, and then they got to come back and have a great year next year too. So, yeah.
There have been some big moments for you and for this team here over the last number of years. This would probably seem to be the opposite end of that. Where does this one rank as far as, if you've had some big highs, where is this one of the lows?
It's probably one of the lowest, especially with being the last game. It's like last game I'll play here, and it's there, but that's kind of the beauty of football, right? You'll get, some of the highest highs and the lowest lows, but it makes you a better person for it.
I asked Steph, and we've asked a couple others. One of the things this year was it seemed really hard. The numbers bear it out. It was really hard to get the ball into the end zone for whatever reason. What's your take on why it was such a challenge this year to do that?
I don't know. I wish I could give you a good answer on that one, but sometimes it's just tough. I don't know.
Yeah, and I guess just to follow up on what Scott went there in terms of, you guys scored a touchdown in the first drive there, and then just when looking back and kind of what do you feel kind of really worked well during that first drive compared to kind of the rest of it?
Yeah, I think we were able to run the ball. We had some good runs on that drive, and then we switched it up. It kind of everything was working, but it was when the defense switched to did their 30 front, we just got stumped a little bit, and it just really we couldn't. That was one of the bigger things, that we couldn't run the ball against it, which wasn't great. And then they did a better job in the pass game too. So.
This being your last week McMaster. I mean, it's like even right now in the moment, right? Like, what's that feeling like, and how much of that kind of sunk in yet, I guess?
I don't know if it's totally sunk in yet, but I mean, it sucks. Been here for 6 years, but 5 playing seasons, obviously, and you know, it's I've loved every second of it. It's a great school, great program, but yeah, it's tough. Got to move on to real life now. Thank you.